Hey young world, it's your girl Nia with Nia's Take, coming to you with a review of the movie Jingle Jangle on Netflix. So this movie came out a couple weeks ago, but I hadn't watched it because if you're anything like me, I like to be able to watch it and then rewind past the parts that I may have missed or I just didn't hear clear enough or I really want to see the scene again. So I like to watch these movies by myself. My kids and my husband, they watched it a couple weeks ago. I've been seeing comments on Facebook about how it's a great movie and how everybody should check it out. It's perfect for the holiday season. And so I watched it today and I loved it. Some of my favorite scenes. I loved Miss Johnston and her song, Miles and Miles. I loved Miss Journey and her song, Possible. I thought that the music was great. I love that it was a musical. I loved the dancing. Everything about this movie was a feel-good, Christmassy, bring your family together, sing-along movie. I just absolutely loved it. It was great to see Black families presented in such a light, something that my kids can see and enjoy and see people that look like them. And I just thought it was a great movie. One of the scenes that just really touched me was the dynamic of the father-daughter relationship. Here you have Jeronicus Jangle, who his inventions were stolen by his apprentice, and so he's trying to kind of rebuild and get things to work. And so he goes to get another loan so that he can, rebuild, and his wife passes away. And in the midst of that, on top of all of his inventions being stolen, and now he has to rebuild. He has to do this without his wife, and he's not really sure how to do that. He can't really give himself to this beautiful daughter, Jessica, that is still with him. And as much as she tries to fill that void that, the mom is not able to fill anymore, she can't. And he figures, you know what? It'd be better if you just leave. You just continue on life without me because I can't give you what it is that you need. She essentially lost two parents. And so eventually she did. She left him. And, we kind of fast forward to the space of him turning jangles and things into a pawn shop. It's not even a place of magic and of beauty and something in the community that brings kids to want to try out the new toys and really brings life into the community. It's just a place that you go and take your stuff to either get fixed or you're going to buy something that's somebody then dropped off that's broken. So really interesting aspect. You see this man who was really a pillar of the community is now down on his luck. He has no life in him. He's grumpy. He's old, he got this little kid apprentice, Edison, who was just tagging along and following behind him, and he just don't want to hear. He's just not interested. He just shunning everybody. And you got Mrs. Johnston, who is a widow and is like, "What's up? Check me out. Look at me." She's the mail lady, and he just ain't feeling it. He ain't feeling nobody. I just love the energy that she brought. And so he's been trying to work on a creation that his daughter made called the Buddy 3000, which to me is very similar to Johnny 5 in Short Circuit. It may just be me. They look alike. It's very adorable. I wish I had one of them robots in my house. My kids would love it. I would love it. But whatever. It works for the movie. It talks. It flies. It laughs. It does the whole nine. So he's trying to bring this back to life in order for him to save his shop because the bank is like, bruh, you ain't bringing in enough money to keep this place open. And if you don't get it together and give us this money, all these bills that you pass due on, we're going to take your shop and we're going to take everything in it. And so he's trying to figure out how to make this thing work because this is something that's going to be his spectacular thing to keep his shop open. And so you kind of get into the midst of Mr. Magic, who was the apprentice that stole all of his stuff. Journey comes. She is Jessica's daughter. And so Jessica has went on and lived her life without her dad. And she has this beautiful little girl named Journey, who is very much like her father. She's an inventor. She's different from everybody else. And the dad just really kind of moves on from Jessica. He's in this stuck place of just wanting to be by himself and not really wanting to live really essentially anymore. He's trying to figure out a way to get his inventions to work, but he's missing something. And so in comes Journey and Jessica. There's a letter that's sent to Jessica saying, hey, I want you to bring Journey so I want to meet my granddaughter, bring her over to the shop so she can spend a few weeks with me. So this letter comes for Jessica to send Journey over to the shop. And Mr. Jangle first didn't even know the girl's name. Okay, that's how you can tell. He was just so completely far removed. Didn't even know that the girl's name was Journey. He thought it was something else. Was not trying to accept her. Didn't even believe that she was his granddaughter. Jessica got kids. What? I mean, just completely far removed from everything. And here it is, this girl who is very much like him, wants to show him life and really show him that he's still a great inventor and that he can make all of these wonderful products work. He just has to believe. And then that's when we see Mr. Buddy 3000. That works. Mr. Jangle here, he's been sent up here trying to fix the parts. And it's worked the whole time. He just has not had any belief in himself or anything. So there's nothing able to really happen. And then you kind of go through the process of that. Where Mr. Magic ain't got he stole all of Mr. Jangle's stuff. He ain't got nothing left now, and his inventions don't work, which is why he stole his stuff in the first place. So now he's trying to get back to see what Mr. Jangle is working on. So they have this little tiff. I love this girl, Journey, man. She does such an amazing job playing this role. I just love how she's just so positive. Her energy is great. She's not one that you can trick. You can't get nothing over on her. She is ready for the shenanigans, and I love it. And so we get to them being able to really bond. Geronicus and his granddaughter, they're able to get to a space where they can really bond, and they are coming to fix Buddy. And he's saying that he can't do it, and she's just really, again, giving him this push and letting him know that he can make these things happen if he just believes that he can do it. So he tries. And in the midst of him trying, Jessica decides, I'm about to go get my daughter early. Okay, and so here's the intro of the song, Make It Work Again. And baby, let me tell you, everything that has happened up to this point has been great. The music is great, the singing is great, all of the dancing, the songs, everything's great. I'm loving all of that up until this point. But baby, when we get here, this movie takes a whole new spin, whole new turn, because here it is. You have Jessica. This man, her dad, has shunned her. He has completely forgot about her existence. And she is like, you know what? I'm going. I'm about to come to the shop. You ain't sent for me. You ain't had no letters, nothing. You done just forgot I existed. And so you know what? I'm about to come and we're going to see how things work. We're going to see how this is going to go down, because I don't know. Hey, it's hard to forgive. And so this song is like, it's everything. So as he's working on fixing Buddy 3000, she is heading into town. And his focus is trying to really get this thing to work. And after they're singing this song at the same time, and her journey is different. Here it is, she's coming back into town like, you know what? Is he going to notice me? Is he going to see me? Is he going to try to make things work again? My heart needs to mend. This is a difficult road for her. This is a difficult journey for her to go here to the shop to pick up her daughter, just to see him again in general. And the song, you have all of this music, everything is just perfect about this. Even the way she sings the song, you get the feel. You can tell that this is about to be a battle. She is ready. She don't know what she's about to come up on, but she is ready for whatever that is going to bring. Because forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness is hard. You go your whole life with a man, your father, who is supposed to be there for you, to show you what love looks like, to be the first person that you fall in love with, man-wise, to be able to show you how to live life. And she hasn't had that. She's had to go off on her own. She's got this daughter that she's had to raise on her own. She's had to do all of this by herself. And at this point, she's like, I didn't did it without you. I didn't did all of this without you. I'm able to make things work without you. So what? What is it that you have to say to me? Yes, we're going to have to talk it out. We need to make this work again. And I don't know if my heart is going to be ready for that. I don't even know if it's going to open up to you. And then right in that, you got this lady to turn, the open sign, the close, and all of the dancers come out. And they just got this performance that they put on. I mean, it was perfect. Perfect. And so she's like, you got to make it work. We got to make it work. I'm not really sure if we can do this. Okay. And so they get to the space where they're in his shop, and she's like, hey, I'm here to pick up Journey. We'll leave tonight. And the tension is extreme. I mean, this is years of buildup, of rejection, of not feeling that you're enough, of trying to fill a void, and just continuing to get your hand slapped. And she is not knowing what she's going to get in return from him. And he really is not saying much. You know, we find out in the story that he was never the person that sent the letter for Journey to come. Journey sent the letter because she wanted to know who he was, because she knew that she was different, and that she knew that there was something about her that was very similar to him. And she wanted to know who he was. All Jessica talked about all her life, really, and she's 10, all that she's ever talked about was how she's like her father, how different her dad is, and how they're both different, and how the Jangle and Things shop is the greatest place ever. And she just really wanted to beat her. So she writes this letter, sends it to her mom, claiming it's from Veronica so that she can get there and meet him. And so she's into telling him, like, you know, thank you for even wanting to spend time with her, because your history don't show that you want to be bothered with nobody. And instead of him being honest and saying, I don't really want to be bothered with her, I ain't sent for her, he begins to open up. He turns that leaf of saying, hey, you know what? I'm glad that she came. She's very much like you. And I'm glad that I've been able to spend this time with her. And she turns to leave. And he says, Jessica, I'm sorry. And she say, for what? Wait a minute. You sorry for what? Let's not just throw I'm sorry out there, because that ain't enough. What you sorry for? You sorry for giving up? You sorry for leaving me out here on my own? What are you sorry for? You ain't even come for me. You ain't sent for me. Where my letters at? Where's something showing that you care about me, Dad? Where is that at? And he go, oh, you know what? I really wanted to write to you, and I did. And he goes and he walks over to this cabinet, and out falls all of these letters. He even wrote these letters to her every single day, and was just completely unsure if she wanted to hear from him, given all of the things that happened in their life. So he never sent them. And I'm talking about buckets of letters, y'all. It's like an armoire, and it's completely full of letters. They just fall out. Just completely unreal. And she's like, what? So she starts to read these letters. And he just goes into saying how, you know, he wishes everybody considers him to be the greatest inventor of all, and how he wishes that he could have been the greatest father. And then he goes into singing to her. And he sings her this song. First, he goes into telling her that she reminds him so much of her and her mother. And he tells her, I wish that I could hold you tight and fill you up with love. I wish that you knew what made me smile. Just seeing you has brought life back into me. Seeing you is what makes me smile. I'm so sorry. I love you, Jessica. And he grabs her and holds her as she cries in his arms. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's talk about it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you have these movies like this, you want to be able to have, yes, most movies have some type of drama in it. If it's not drama, it's going to be sex. And I'm so glad it didn't go that route, because thankfully they kept it a kid's movie. But baby, let's talk about these issues in our community. Let's talk about it. Because I mean, really, how many of us have had these issues where if it's not a father-daughter relationship, it's a mother-daughter relationship, or a father-son, or a mother-son. They're there. And how many of these movies actually really address that? Not many. Not that many. Me coming up from a person who has had mother issues, who has had father issues. Yes, it's the dynamic of life. We have these little tiffs and taps with our parents. That's a given. But how many of y'all, I am one of those people who doesn't really have a relationship with my father, who would love to have something like this occur. I mean, years of history, we talking. They ain't spoke. They have nothing there. This woman has to mend her life. She is going through life with a broken heart. The man, her father, the first man that she's ever known, has let her down in such an extreme way. And here it is. She's grown with her own kid, and her own daughter had to go through the struggles of trying to get this man, the only man in their life, to love her. Okay? And here, he still didn't even say it to her. She said, "I love you, Grandpa Jay." And he didn't even say it back. It took towards the end of the movie for him to really get past this hurt and this barrier and this wall that he's put up with his daughter Jessica, for him to really understand and really break from out of this dark place that he's been in. He was never going to be able to move if he hadn't acknowledged and really been able to process the fact that not only did he fail his business, he felt everybody. He felt himself, he felt his kids, he felt everybody. And in order for him to be able to move forward, he had to address those things. Journey brought so much light into his life, into everyone's life. I love that her name is Journey, because that is what we go on every single day. We're on a journey, and we make the decision of which direction we're going to go down in this journey. And the fact that she came in and just brought all of this beauty, this magic, this belief, this love, this hope, the possibilities to say, hey, look, just believe. It's going to all work out. That's all he needed. He needed to be able to have that so that when he saw his daughter, he could be in the space to say, "I'm sorry. Let me show you that I'm sorry." And they put that robot back together. They put it back together. And because of that, he was able to move forward and bring Buddy 3000 back to life and be able to have all of these successes come back to him, because he needed to do it with his family. He couldn't do it. He couldn't move forward without first going back and getting together all of the things that he messed up, starting with his daughter. And I love that they address that. It's so important, y'all. It's so important that we talk about that. You know, I get it. There's this dancing and there's this music and there's all this extra stuff that's going on, and it was great and I loved it all. But for them to really be able to show the evolution of everything that happened with them, the point that they are at now, and the healing that came from that, the healing, the growth, his empire was on top after that. He was able to grow so much. He was able to conquer. What's a journey? She was able to save his drawings. She was able to save, all because he opened his heart up enough. Miss Johnson ain't saying nothing but happened to her, but come on. He had love staring him in the face. He was cold. Just cold. So to be able to see this movie, it hit me. Like I said, I seen all the reviews. I heard everything about the movie. I heard some people say they didn't like it. I heard some people say they did. This movie hit a whole new level for me when that man grabbed her up in his arms and told her that he loved her and told her that he was sorry. Triggered. I was bawling. Okay. I can be the type of father to her that I wasn't able to be to you. And he has this line where he tells her that I wish that I could just hold you. It's so deep. I was not ready. I was not ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Because really, every person who has a relationship of brokenness, it doesn't necessarily have to be with a parent. It could be with anybody that it has had some importance in your life. Sometimes you just need that closure. I wasn't expecting that at all, baby. I wasn't expecting it. And I appreciated it. I appreciated that. Because that just gives me hope. That lets me know that even though my journey with my dad hasn't been the greatest, there's still hope for tomorrow. And I'm not in a bad space to want that. I can still go on with my life. God has blessed me with an amazing husband and beautiful children and a wonderful life. And I don't have anything that I don't have any needs. I don't have any want. God supplies all those things. But I still love my father. I still love my mother. I can still want a relationship with him. And although it hasn't come yet, there's still bits and pieces of that that's out there. And I just love the fact that this movie just really just gives such a beautiful and positive picture of hope, the beauty of belief. And I believe that someday that I will have a relationship with my father, and my children will too. When that day will come, I don't know, but I do believe it. And I just appreciate so much that this movie was able to bring some clarity and some conclusion to that. And it didn't just leave it in the back burner or throw it out there as some mindless story that meant really nothing and didn't give it a resolution. I'm just so thankful that we actually got a chance to see the healing process, the beauty of that, the beauty of the, because it's a struggle. The journey is what it is. The journey is going to be what it is. It's part of our journey. But the fact that they were able to come head on and really be able to tackle that and have some peace. Because sometimes, hey, there may not be peace. There may never be a conclusion. There may never be a space where you can get into where, you know, there is a relationship. But forgiveness is what it is. Being able to forgive. The fact that she didn't know what she was coming into, but she was ready to battle it out. She said, hey, forgiveness is it's hard. It's a hard thing. It is. But we all have to do it. We do. We all have to do it. And even if a relationship never comes from it, maybe you never get your sorry. Still continue to push forward. Forgiving your heart. Forgiving your heart and keep moving forward. And you never know what could come from that. You just have to believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you can produce and the possibilities that's ahead of you. And I just love the message of this movie. I thought the movie was great. I loved all the songs. I love the actors. Everybody did an excellent job. It was a goodie for me. So, Jingle Jangle on Netflix. Great movie to watch with your kids if you have kids. Great movie to watch by yourself if you don't. Check it out. Thanks so much for tuning in to Nia's Take. Have a wonderful day.